And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Another day and another transfer update. Rangers for sure aren't messing around this January transfer window, and it seems as though that we could be in the midst of a signing blitz. That's the reality that we're in at this moment in time. The 49ers, Andrew Kavanagh and the board are really going for this league title. Of course, if we do win the league title, for us fans, it's amazing. We get 56 and we overtake Celtic and whatnot, and just the glory of having a league title. But the financial implications, as we know, is that this may just be the last year that Rangers will get automatic Champions League group stage football or league phase football should we win the league. So you know the financial implications, the financial reward that is at the end of the sort of season should we win this title. And of course the 49ers are smelling blood and do want to get that automatic Champions League spot, and again putting their money where their mouth is. We've already of course signed Tushi Chukwuani, of course a really exciting prospect, but it isn't stopping there, and we're going to provide you with the latest update on a host of different targets, and of course a new one has emerged overnight. As always guys, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more, and let's get into this Rangers transfer update. Okay, so there has been another transfer target revealed from within the Rangers space, and that of course is for Hungarian winger being Damir Redzik. And as you can see from this exclusive, RB Salzburg, Rangers, Copenhagen and Olympiacos are all pushing to sign the DAC Dunjaska Streda winger. The 22-year-old Hungarian is impressed in Slovakia, scoring 7 goals in 14 league appearances so far this season. And something that I do want to add, he's a left-footed right winger, which is also a very interesting thing that we don't have. Also, what I would say is that I think this is what Rangers fans have been crying out for, us recruiting this sort of European market. You know, it's a good sign when you've got clubs like RB Salzburg, Copenhagen and Olympiacos all sort of pushing to sign the player. It shows, you know, they've got great history in sort of signing these players, nurturing them and then pushing them on for large amounts of money later on in the future. So that's a good sign that all 4 of these clubs are competing to try and sign him. But if I was from a player's perspective, I know I'm a Rangers fan, but probably for player development, I would certainly, if I was a player, I would be out of Salzburg and out of Rangers. Of course, taking away being a Rangers fan, but from a player, I just feel like if you do really well at Rangers, you know, the world's your oyster. You can go to the sort of Premier League. You know, a lot of Premier League clubs are looking up in Scotland, and RB Salzburg, I think, are in a little bit of disarray at this moment in time. Copenhagen, yes, good, but yeah, I think Rangers and Salzburg would probably be the 2 that you'd be looking to go at. And of course with Rangers, certainly I think that's the best place for a young player to go on and develop. But I think we're all happy. I think you guys can see a bit of a sort of something that's happening amongst all our sort of transfer targets is that they're all sort of 22, ready for the here and now, but also have like a lot of time, a high ceiling to sort of develop and become better, so they can fit our sort of business model, so to speak. But this is the latest target from this morning. Also, there's a bit of an update with regard to Andreas Skov Olsen. Of course, yesterday we reported to you via sort of Florian Plettenberg that Rangers had opened talks with Wolfsburg to sign Andreas Skov Olsen. The 26-year-old was not included in the squad against FC Bayern. He's not injured, but he of course put in a transfer request. And at this moment in time, it does seem as though we are trying to get a loan move, and we're going to be paying 7 figures to get him in on a loan. However, I do hope and stress that Rangers do have a bit of an option to buy here, or potentially an obligation to buy, because if he can rediscover that Club Brugge form, we've got a really good player on our hands here in terms of Olsen. A similar story or situation as Vasilev Cherny, of course, at Wolfsburg, came out on loan, wasn't getting game time, did really well. So potentially the same sort of thing. Hopefully it goes well for him. But the problem with these sort of loans with options to buy is that, well, they're obligation to buy. If they're shit and they get injured, then you ended up lumping them like Oscar Cortez. But the problem with the option to buy is that, well, you know, they pull the rug. We've seen it happen with Malik Tillman and Bayern Munich. So I'm not really a fan of entertaining loan moves, especially these sort of younger players. Yes, I want to see us go on and win the title. Yes, I want to see us get better and better in this transfer window. But a player like him, I would love for him to come on loan at the prospect of staying for a considerable amount of time. Of course, in the offing, we're also dealing with two Rumans. It does seem as though that deal was also agreed. And the last I heard of it, it was that he was in Glasgow to do a medical. So could be announced in due course, or at the time that you're watching this video. We'll have to see any day now, but that would be a good one. But I'm really, really happy with the sort of transfer activity, the targets that we're trying to go for, the caliber of player that we're trying to go for in this transfer window so far. On the outgoings front, of course, it does seem it was announced that Finley Curtis has gone out on loan to Kilmarnock, and of course that certainly makes sense. Kevin McCann out there, of course, at this moment in time. Neil McCann out there at this moment in time. As the manager is Kilmarnock, and it would be quite good for his development. Before we get into our next story, if you are enjoying today's video and you would like to see more and stay updated with the latest Rangers news, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video. Thank you, let's get back into the video. In other news, Rangers have hit out at the abhorrent mocking of the Ibrox disaster by some Aberdeen supporters. Footage circulated following the recent clash, which the visitors won 2-0, showing fans from the home end aiming gestures towards their rivals. One held up his phone displaying the number 71, referencing the 1971 tragedy, which resulted in 66 deaths and more than 200 injuries. Others around him performed dive motions, believed to be in reference to those tragic fans who fell down the stairway at the Old Firm clash. It came just weeks after tributes were paid to those who lost their lives at a memorial event. Rangers have now responded and expect the authorities to take decisive action. A spokesperson said, "We are appalled that once again opposition supporters have mocked the Ibrox disaster, the darkest day in our history. Such behavior is abhorrent and has previously resulted in a criminal conviction, underlining the seriousness of this issue." It was only a few weeks ago that the club came together with families and survivors to remember those who lost their lives that day. The club expects the relevant authorities to investigate the matter fully and for those responsible to be dealt with appropriately. The club's stance leaves little room for ambiguity. Rangers are now awaiting the outcome of any investigation, with an expectation that those responsible will be identified and held accountable. The incident has once again highlighted the enduring sensitivity surrounding the Ibrox disaster, and the belief within Ibrox that there can be no tolerance for behavior which seeks to demean a tragedy that claimed 66 lives and left lasting scars on countless families. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.